Welcome to Shays Spiritual Insights. It's the first one of 2025, and I'm so glad everyone is here. And so for opening just thoughts, it's really come to my attention. Boy, they're really bringing it to me. We have some really wonderful high energies coming in, some power, some really good ones. But most of you don't know June Distel, but she had said, and Dr. McKimmey had said the same thing, as we're going through this period, and we're in the midst of it, and I think we're hopefully on the over the hump and on the other side of it, as all these changes come in and the old systems fall away and the new ones come in. The brighter lights are coming in, but occasionally we have hiccups. Things do come in, but it looks like some really higher energies are coming in 2025. Much smoother waters than we had in 2024 and before. So I'm really excited about it. And with that, I don't have anything else to say. We can get started. So I'm going to do this out of order again. Since we haven't seen Nicole for so long, welcome, Nicole. I hope everything is going well there in Oregon still, correct?
Yes, still in Oregon.
All right, so super. Because I know your daughter told me that you've been in a migratory mode. I guess that's what yeah, she told me about that. So anyway, I don't want to steal your thunder, so please share any thoughts you have, anything to share, any questions. We'd love to hear what's happening in your world.
Um, so it's been a definite journey. Having never really lived on my own, it's trying to get acclimated to being myself and just being me and not worrying about kids, not worrying about a partner. I just worry about me. Now, on the flip side of that, trying to find someone to live with that is compatible
Mm-hmm.
has been an interesting challenge. So I just moved right before the new year, and so experiencing getting used to a new roommate again, and but the energies have definitely been more positive. When the universe says and puts the person, I had been looking for a place to move, and I went to a painting class. I decided I needed a good creative outlet, and was sitting at this table with these two friends that were there too, and we kind of talked back and forth a little bit through the afternoon, and we were having kind of a snack, and the one goes, "Yeah, I'm looking for a roommate," and I go, "Me." So, I mean, it was just too, and I had even thought about not going that, but something pushed me and said I had to go to that class that day. And yeah, we get along pretty famously, and so I think it was, yeah, the universe basically going, we've been hinting, now go. So
Wonderful.
yeah, just starting to things kind of slipped for a little while, but trying to get back in the groove and starting to get back into my meditation and getting life back on track and start manifesting again.
Wow. Well, it looks like, oh boy, they're showing me stuff. You have all kinds of things coming in, small and kind of some medium and large, and some of the other ones, some of this other stuff has to kind of get in place for other things to happen. And I think you already are
Okay.
sensing that. That is indeed what's coming for you. And I think it looks to me like it's really good that you're flowing with it, because that's what the universe, that seems to be the mode for you to have the maximum benefit in your life right now, is just flowing with it. And you're going to have a couple of hiccups here and there, but don't sweat them.
Hmm.
Occasionally it may look like, oh my goodness, but they'll work their way out. You'll just be open and resources will show themselves. And boy, you have some, I don't know if I want to call it a career move. It's along that lines, but it's a new opening of activities for you to engage in. I'm going to say it more that,
Oh, perfect.
because
Okay.
it's kind of like it is a career, but it's also a kind of a heartfelt thing. I'm not sure what it is. It's a ways out there because these other things have to kind of sort themselves out to get your
Sure.
foundation so that it can happen along with some other things. So, yeah. So just keep flowing with it. That's what they're all saying. They like the flowing Nicole. So I'm going to call
I
those are my
I
words,
figure
not theirs.
I figure if I could get through 2024, little hiccups, they'll go fine.
Yeah.
It's 2024 was a lesson in not taking things as they come and not blowing them way out of proportion and just rolling with it, trying to. But I did find, like the last 6 months, I started to lose myself. I was with my roommate was toxic,
Hmm.
um, and she drained more of my energy. I was pretty tapped out by the time I got out of that situation. So I'm feeding and I'm getting it back. Oh, it feels so good.
Well, yeah, good. And that's really where sometimes events have to unfold the way they do for us
Hmm.
to have to be to go have things happen. I guess I'm going to just say it that way. It's even more than just choices. It's just to let things to flow, things have to happen. I guess I'll say it that way. And
I'll
you're doing it. Yeah,
I will stick with my adage. Everything happens for a reason.
it
No
does.
matter how crappy, it's there for a purpose.
Well, and it's not always teaching us what we want. Sometimes it's to learn what we want to like. That's not for me, and I'm going to
Hmm.
not do those things, and I'm going to go
Right.
over here. So, well, good. It's so great to see you. And why? And your daughter had mentioned that again. She said, yeah, she would say, I'll let you know that I talked to you, and I'm sure she did.
She does. Yep,
Yeah,
she
and
does.
I'm just not going to bother Nicole until she's got into things are smooth, and then I was hoping you would show up, so I'm so glad you have.
Yeah, no, I will hopefully now be able to attend more often. Scheduling, I live in a place now where my roommate has she had we can work together better and she doesn't have boundary issues.
Hmm.
So that's a big thing too. And when you have such a toxic
Hmm.
energy around you, you don't want to bring it and share it. So
Yeah.
to an extent, I mean, I didn't want to bring that toxic energy with me. So I've been shaking it off and getting rid of it. And yeah,
Moving on. Yeah.
moving on. But I have my second book written. It's in editing mode, and hopefully that will be out soon.
Well, let us know when it is. Send
Absolutely.
me an email. Send us an email so we always get it.
Absolutely.
All right. And if you're allowed, if you can send a picture of the cover, then I can share that. We can share that.
Oh, most
Yeah,
definitely.
the
Yeah.
graphic, because they always send you that graphic that you have for the cover for, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So wonderful. Well, congratulations on that. And well, and just congratulations on the new roommate and someone with some boundaries, some healthy boundaries. It seems like it's better. And of course, they always get more and more established as time goes on, but it's always a good thing. Wonderful. Good to see you.
Yes.
We're going to go around again, but I'm going to kind of go out of order again because we have some new people here. Okay, so let's see. We have Miss Whitacre. Hello, how are you?
Hello, everybody. Yes,
Hello.
I'm doing really well. It's been a while since I joined, and
Yeah.
I'm here in Portland. Hello, everybody.
Oh, so
It's
you're
been
still
a year
there?
or so.
Yeah, you've been in Portland for
Yep,
a while,
yep,
right? Yes.
that's right. My process work training's. Oh, my connection's unstable. Sorry.
Yeah.
My process work is going well. I graduated with a master's degree, and now I'm in the advanced training. And then I just started a training through CIS on psychedelic assisted psychotherapy. And so here in Oregon, being able to assist people with psilocybin journeys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. And then other updates, I'm just on a really cool gender journey and just
Mhm.
exploring parts of myself. I'm growing my hair out long and it feels really, really good. So,
Wow. So
yeah.
anything to share? I mean, you've shared that. Anything more? And any questions you may have? Anything at all?
Um, yeah. Anything else to share? My sister Kim's going to be coming here to Portland for next
Wonderful.
in a couple of weeks. She's going to do signed up for the winter intensive for process work.
Mm-hmm.
And so she still speaks of the time we went up to there to Montana for the meditation workshops and just loved it. Greg is doing well. He's just got back from California.
Mm-hmm.
And Becca, Rick, and Leisha were all going out to the peninsula for Becca's birthday today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm here. I have to work tomorrow here in Portland. So I will.
So you're stuck holding it,
Yeah,
holding the fort, having to go to work. I understand.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, well,
Yeah.
it's great to see
And
you,
so
and
I'm doing
obviously
really good.
things
Thank
are,
you.
yeah, things are moving on. So anything else at all before I move on? I don't want to, if you've got more to share,
Yeah.
please do.
No,
All
I
right.
think the only other thing is I've just started going by M for my name. And
Okay.
so that kind of feels sort of as a nice step forward and just really just, yeah, looking forward. I hope 2025 goes well. I'm really worried about the future.
Well,
And
yeah,
so
but
I just happened to be getting caught up on emails. I just came back from vacation for the New Year's and I saw your email and I'm like, I had some time and yeah, grateful to be here.
well, I'm glad you are, and just in all what I'm getting, they're showing me for you is you have, as always, it was before you had a lot of busy things that could happen, and they did, obviously. You had lots of choices, and you had, and you've
Yes.
got some more coming up. And yeah, there are
Yep.
going to be challenges associated with them, but I just think it's right in line with what you're doing. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, more things come, and
Yeah.
that's about all they want me to say at this point. So that's all I'm going to say. That's
That
as far.
sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, thank you for being here. I just love it. We have new people who haven't seen for quite some time. And on that note, I'm going to move up to Laurel. So, Laurel, how are you doing these days? Anything to share? Any questions? Anything at all? You have to turn off your mute. You're muted still. There you go.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Sure.
Okay. I'm doing really good. I'm uh, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of energy, and and I'm still living in the same place, which is feels very stable to me, and that is a really good basis.
Hmm.
So for years and years, I've been receiving teachings from my teachers, my
Hmm.
spiritual teachers, and they wanted me to start writing them down, and I've been doing that for a long time, and then I finally started typing them up, and so they're going to put them together in a book, but it's going to take me a long time. But I'm getting almost to halfway, so that's a good uh, thing for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, books are a challenge. I know, for anyone who's done it, it always seems like in my head, I'm just like, once you know what you're going to do, then my goodness, writing it all of a sudden, as you delve into it, as anyone can tell, I mean, Nicole and yourself, it just seems like it just keeps the things that you keeps growing, the things you're going to write about, and you got to some point, it will become a ranch that you can't corral if you don't, eventually say,
Yeah,
okay, this isn't
just
this.
say, okay, cut it off.
Yeah, yeah, we're done here. We're moving on to the next thing. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah. Well,
appreciate
I'm
that.
not even at the point. I think I'm gonna probably have to self-publish it because it's so weird. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like I don't think a publishing company would want to do that, but
It's so common
I
though
was,
now. Self-publishing is so easy, and they can promote you out there, and you can get different packages. Anyway, long story short, self-publishing is mainstream now.
oh, okay, yeah, that's
So
good because I think that's what I'm gonna have to do.
yeah,
It's great. Yeah. So yeah, I just live here by myself and I'm retired now and
wonderful. Well, I'm glad you're here. Do you have any other questions or anything at all before we move on? Yeah, and we're going to come back around again, just so everyone who does this regularly, we know we'll always come back around just in case something comes to mind.
No, I'm just gonna listen, but sorry, I haven't been in on this for so long. For some reason, whenever I get your emails, it's always like I see him too late, or I can't do it, or but so I saw it way in advance this time, so I thought, oh, I'm gonna do that, so here I am.
All right, well, glad you're here. And
Thank you.
again, as we come back around again, if you have any questions or any thoughts, you'll have an opportunity to share. We always like to do that.
Okay,
So,
thanks.
yeah, again, welcome. All right, let us go. And I'm going to switch over here, I think, to Lisa. Hello, Lisa. I want you to know, although you said you made your hair curly, I like it. I like your hairstyle. I do. I like it. It's like the active Lisa. So I find it, and I'm sure I know you're active because I know how busy you are. So please, anything to share, questions, anything at all? I'd love to hear what's going on with you.
I've been trying to just catch up with things, but I'm not going to get too much of a break.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
it's nice to be out of 2024, but the energies in 2025 are pretty intense, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had an experience, I think it was just a couple days ago. I was re-listening to a workshop that I had done, and I had to finish going and taking notes and all of that. And so I was listening to the last transmission with Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't taking notes. I just kind of went into a deep state. And I had this experience of where I saw like this energy kind of flying up like in my third eye. And it looked almost like a volcano when you know how that molten lava starts coming up like that. It was almost like sparking. And then after it was doing that, then it started swirling into kind of a vortex. And then I don't know if I went into the vortex or what happened, but it really knocked me out. So that was pretty interesting. And I was seeing a lot of orange
Mm-hmm.
and gold colors.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I got a big download.
Yeah, you did, and more to follow. The orange, it has it's a wonderful. It's absolutely fantastic. The golden is good. The orange has changed and is coming.
Hmm.
Um, Something that I've just become aware of just very recently. In fact, they're reminding me now. We've got some, and we're moving further into the higher energies, and the oldest patterns are falling away out there in the world, as well as the energetic systems coming in. It appears to me, and I don't know how to even talk about it, but there's different energies coming in simultaneously. I'm going to call them channels, connections of energies for those who are ready. So you can step up and connect and get into that. That is what happened to you in that moment. You had some come in. It was probably facilitated by listening, but more as you process and integrate those energies, you're going to be stepping into some new ones. And it's for everyone who's ready for them. They're going to be able to step into some higher energies and tap those in and bring them in for the soul group, not only for themselves, but for those around them. So that is coming in right now. It's available right now. It's from the higher octaves, and I don't know how I have to probably think about this more because it's been on the periphery of my awareness, and I just haven't had the opportunity to really to think about it further. But that is what you're tapping into, and more's coming.
Mm.
And it's going to obviously manifest into your work, and hopefully, I don't know about you, sometimes it comes in so intensely it's hard to do other things. So
Yeah,
trying to
I
do
mean,
regular daily work, earthly stuff, it's hard to do them. So
yeah,
anyway, go ahead.
yeah, because I think that was on Monday, and
Mm-hmm.
so a few days after that, I was having a hard time
Mm-hmm.
kind of focusing. And I've been going through since I think January 1st, I've been going through the sleepless nights again.
Mhm.
So lots of energy coming in, intense heat in my body. So that's been a lot of fun. Um, so I've had that, and then I also had in one of those kind of sleepless nights where I'm just kind of laying there and and because it's so uncomfortable in the body.
Mhm.
I also was aware of the three Marys, and then some of the thoughts had started coming in because it feels like I'm gonna teach a class this year, maybe this spring or this summer, early this summer. And also, all of a sudden, people are calling me for sessions
Yep.
where I haven't had any. I probably had one session in the last 6 months where I had a session last week. I've got one tomorrow, and I've got one on Saturday, and then one next week. So all of a sudden, that has shifted. So I felt like, okay, might be time to start putting a class together. So, anyways, it felt like I was going to be working with the three Marys to bring through this information for this class. So, I don't know if you can see anything with that.
Yes, I can answer. Boy, let me go through back up a little bit. I wonder if they want me to complete some thoughts about the energy. The energies that are coming in are very high. About a week ago, I woke up at 1:50 in the morning, and that's when I stayed awake. And because there was nothing wrong. It's just the energies. Um,
Hmm.
it's going to be multi-phasic and multi-frequency coming in for you as you're coming in. Even if you're tapping into the higher ones, it's going to be in the middle, and it's almost frequency, what's called frequency multiplexing in communications. It's kind of what the energies are, not kind of, that is what the energies are coming in, spiritual ones. Um, and I'm supposed to ask you, why do you suppose you're having sessions show up? And then I'll answer about your Marys here in just a second.
Well, I think because people are really struggling.
Yeah, and because you've got these connections that have been coming in, they're actually coming in before we know about it, as you know. They sense it about
Mm,
with you. They're sensing it, and that's why. And as you connect more, and as it's appropriate, and when the time comes, you're going to get plugged in to other things, and that's going to bring in some more abilities, and yeah, I'm just going to call it that. Just it's going to bring in some energetic functionality into your sessions. That's how I'm going to say it. Um, I'll let you process that because I think you already know what it means, but there's more to it specific for you. And I don't want to get into a long conversation trying to describe it, but that's what you're going to have. Yes, the three Marys, as well as Yeshua, as well as someone else.
no? Someone
Yes.
I'm aware of that.
Yes. I think you
Okay.
know who it is.
Hmm. Oh,
Yes, that's right. That's who it is. That's right. Okay. So
okay.
anyway, that's it. That's the one. So yes, and that being likes to stay. I don't want to say in the shadows, but let's call it in the periphery. Kind of, they're doing things. You know that things are being done, but they just kind of want to just do it that way. He likes to do it that way. So. Um, Anyway, yes, and your class, don't be dismayed if it gets pushed out a little ways, okay?
That's okay. I've got something new that's coming in, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
starting that, and I'll ask about that after we kind of go through everybody.
Yeah. It looks like fall, possibly late summer, fall. It could happen sooner, but anyway, because of the just a phenomenal amount of things that you're doing simultaneously, it may get you may need the time just to be able to process everything, do your regular work and all the things that you're doing. So,
Okay.
whew, you are a busy person.
Thanks.
And one thing I want to say, and why I just realized why I liked your hair, because it was a subliminal thing, and it just took me a moment to process. It's because it's emblematic of the energies coming in. It's just that, and yes, Paula knew it. Yeah, I knew you knew it, Paula. Yes, that's it. That's what. It's like there's something about that that's absolutely perfect, and that's what it is. It's like, boom, she's getting. And it's a good thing. It's not a weird scientist thing. It's a very good thing. It's a, wow, I love it. So,
Thanks.
well, anything more? So that's just the three Marys are going to be coming in, and it's going to be, I'm going to say, you know about osmosis, right? Where things are absorbed, one chemicals move through the membrane to go to another. That's a lot of how they're going to do it, so that you're going to process it organically through your being and all the different parts of your being, so that you can bring it in that mode. It's like you're going to be a sponge in water, absorbing the stuff from them, and then that's how they're going to be bringing it through. They will occasionally tell you things, but most of it's going to come through this other method. I like to call it, my friend Kay, who knew her, and I talked about Deborah, and Deborah is, they have clairsentience, clairaudience, all the different clairs that you've got. There's one I have learned that Deborah does, and you're in the mode of doing it. It's I call it clairosmosis, and it's not quite the same as the other ones, but as I watch it happen, I have no other way to describe it other than the permeable, something moving through a permeable membrane, but it's a spiritual one, and all of a sudden it comes into us, and I'll use Deborah for example. All of a sudden she'll say, well, it's this, that, or other thing. She'll explain it very succinctly, and I just watched it come through, and I watch her process it the way she does, but she's unaware that it came from the source that it did, usually the Divine Mother or something like that. And that's how a lot of it's going to come through for you. And this is it's an expansion of how you've been doing things. And as you connect to the more of these energies we just talked about, you're going to be doing even more of it and in higher ways. So that's my 10,000 foot explanation of all the things that are going on right now with you. So.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else before we move on?
I'll let other people go, and then I'll bring it back up. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you. Wow. Again, love your hair. Paula, I have to go to you. They told me to go to you next. So, Paula, hello. And what's happening? Anything to share? Any questions? Anything at all?
Well, first of all, it's so lovely to see Nicole and Laurel and M. What a great way to start our night.
I agree.
And thank you, because my insides were just screaming, Lisa, your hair is perfect. You are just a shining semblance of joy right now.
I know, isn't it great?
I just got the shivers just looking. Your face is just absolutely translucent tonight. And so I'm loving it. I really don't, again, I'm just so content right now. If you see something that they're ready to share with me, I'm happy to hear it. Otherwise, I'm just happy to be here.
Well, thanks. And thank you for sharing that, because I agree. It took me a while to process that, to get it from the subconscious into the conscious, like, oh, that's what it is. And they said they were probably yelling at, you got it before I did. They were yelling at me. Finally, I heard it, The only thing I have for you, and this is from your high self and your guidance, you're in a set of modes in your life that, you're kind of flowing along, and it works working for you. When you're ready, and I'm going to say if or when, because I always think it's when, but I'm going to say if and when you're ready to expand out, this is the bubble you're operating in, and move it out to this and higher and wider and everything, you can do that. And it's it's up to you. This is one of those times you are now at a point where you can do that. You can keep it as is if you like, living, just being happy and doing your thing. Or if you're ready for more, you can do it. You've got some flexibility you haven't had in the past. And that's because of just not only the growth, but the integration that is so important, that sometimes for a lot of people, they get the connection, but they don't want the integration at some inner level, because they know intuitively it's going to change their life. So you've done that, and now you're at a point where you can, again, if and when you're ready to move on, to expand that bubble and move into higher and other areas and new areas, you can do it, and you'll be allowed to do it, I think, kind of the way you want for the most part. I'm going to say how it is. It's never quite higher guidance, sometimes they say, no, this has got to happen, and and things happen. But for the most part, it looks like that's what it'll be. So that's all I have to share.
Well, thank you. It certainly resonated very much. And I would say the way you explained it is exactly how I feel. I'm absolutely content in life.
Yeah.
And happy that, content is the only word. So thank you. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to listen to everybody.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so glad you noticed the hair too. Just like, this is so awesome. I love it. Okay. With that, I'm going to go to Marci next. Hello, Marci. How are things in Hawaiiville?
Oh, pretty good. We got some sunshine going, so that's nice.
Can you send it our way? Can you send a bunch of it here? I'm tired of the cloudy weather.
Okay, I'll do what I can. It's great to hear everybody. And I'm excited to see what Lisa's hair looks like on the replay. So,
Okay.
I can absolutely echo everything she was saying about the energy. Things were going along pretty smooth, and then just about a week ago, it was like, holy smoke, here we go. And yeah, waking up, early in the morning, and the heating up and the energy, just all kinds of goofy stuff, not being very functional. It's a good thing I don't really have to do anything here. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, as soon as the call started, the energy just started clearing out. So I'm really relieved for that. That helps.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is going on? I'm enjoying being here. I'm not, it's kind of like it was like a launching thing to get over to the Big Island was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like a week after I got here, the volcano started over on the Big Island.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, okay, no, don't use that for an excuse, but I am pretty fond of good, clean air, and I seem to be more sensitive than most people to it. And so I guess it's probably an excuse to not rush over there. And I'm almost feeling like it'd be better to wait until maybe April, when my one son will go with me. I'm not thrilled to go by myself. I don't know. I know it'll be okay either way, but it feels like it would be more cohesive, easier, unless you see some reason why I need to do anything sooner rather than later.
No, interesting. As you've been talking, they showed me this real simple image, and it's a tea cup sitting on a tea cup holder, and you're right now, your life is like a cup of tea that's steeping. That's what's happening, and it needs some more time, and you can go do things and whatever else. It needs to steep some more before you're going to be ready for it to take sips of it and move into making some more, real meaningful, bigger decisions. So, yeah, what I'm hearing from you sounds like probably a good plan. It just seems like you're I won't call it a holding pattern. That's not true. The tea of your life of where you're moving into is steeping so that it can move into the waters of the energies of your life, and then once you're ready, I think you usually know. All of a sudden, you get that sense about it, and you'll know, hey, now I need to start doing some things. I need to start picking a direction, making some choices. But until that happens, I think you go ahead. So I think that's where you are.
No, that's how it feels. It's kind of, there's like the little voice that's like, oh, you're dragging your feet, or oh, you're scared, or whatever it is. But it's like everything needs to be in balance.
Yes.
Like the example of when I went out here on the boogie board on the big boys wave and got my bottom handed to me on a platter, big time. So it's like there's timing involved.
Yeah.
And, you might have the enthusiasm, but there's also timing. So it feels like that's a part of it.
It is. And that's part of our low self in some of our stuff that, can affect us. you've gotten rid of a lot of that, but it still happens. And
Yeah.
and that's what that's the, once when you're aware of it, then you're fine. But yeah, you're in a perfect place for that to happen. And when it's time, you will know. I have no doubt about it. All of a sudden, you'll get antsy and you'll start having a sense of things, and things will start happening as they always do for you. Those odd events that happen to you, they'll start happening.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah, it's not like this isn't a news bulletin for Marci. Okay, I know. So anyway, those will start happening, and then you'll know. Okay, now I need to start making some choices and getting some direction, some solidity in my life. So.
Yeah, it's so easy to stay here. It was real welcoming to come back here with people I didn't even know would be like, "Oh, you're back," and so I'm not like in a big rush to go back to rainy, cold California, and I'm not feeling drawn to go, right in the thick of the volcano thing either. So, yeah, I guess I'll just sit with it for a while. And
yeah, and it feels like that's a good plan for you to have. Your higher guidance seems to, they're kind of silent, but they're generally, what I'm getting a sense of is approval. They're pleased. Pleased is the closest word I can use to translate. Is it? They're pleased that that's what you're doing. And again, when the time is coming, you'll know.
Okay. Yeah, and then the other thing would be, and I always, like, the intention is always to be the clearest vessel, to be a crystal clear vessel for the light to flow through. And I'm thinking maybe that's not a good thing to be putting out there, because it means continually releasing and clearing and releasing and clearing. Like, is it a bottomless pit?
What does it says in Ecclesiastes? For all things there is a season, and there's times for clearing, there's time for that, and then there's times that because we're here in a world and we're operating with a limited sense of identity here, where we're not able to do as we are up there, where we can do 100 things at once, kind of a thing. We have to pick and choose what we're doing, and this is the season you're in right now. So
okay,
all is well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
Thank you.
Marci,
Send that sunshine. You got to send it to us. We all want it. At least I'll speak for myself. I want it. I want a sunny day. I don't care if it's 20 degrees below zero. Just give me a sunny day.
All right. I'll put it on the list tomorrow morning, top of the list.
You make Mother Nature do that for us. All right. You're in with.
I will do my best.
All right.
I will do my best.
You're in good
and
with
somebody,
the gods.
Is somebody else got something they're saying to me there?
yeah, me, Marci, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, so instead of that intention of being that clearest vessel, how about just the intention of continuing to bring more and more of your divinity in?
Yeah, that might be a little easier. Okay. Yeah, I'll shift it around.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. That's a good idea. I like that. Living more from your divinity, your true self. And then it'll be whatever it needs to be. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Who's next? I'm gonna go to Jessica this time. How are you? And any thoughts, anything to share? Any questions? Anything?
Hello. It's so nice to see new faces. It's very fun. So I have like 2 or 3 weeks left of work, and then on to something else. And so I was looking for jobs, and now I kind of like I haven't seen anything like that really interests me. And so I'm thinking maybe I'm going in the wrong direction. Maybe it's not a job. I don't know.
It could be, because I'm not getting a whole lot from anyone right now, other than that period we talked about where it's going to be a little bit of a waiting thing. And sometimes that's the space in which we come up when new things new things we would not have considered before enter our consciousness, and perhaps that's the period you're in.
Okay.
Yeah, because I agree with you. It looks like, I mean, I'm seeing that you're flowing along, you were doing your seeking, and nothing's coming up in those veins. And I know, and the only thing I can share that where I thought outside of the box, and I'm certainly not, this isn't appropriate for you, but I was in a pattern when my earlier life when I was young, and I just finally said, I've had it. And impulsively, I joined the Navy. And I was just going to join the Navy long enough to get some training, get some money, get some, whatever, and then I'd be all good. But my point isn't that at the Navy, it's that it was a real departure. I was a baker then. I was a juryman baker. I could run a bakery.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay? That's a total departure. And I didn't join the Navy. They asked me if I wanted to be a baker. I said, not in your life. So that's hard work. I don't want to work that hard. Anyway, so I think you're right. I feel like I am getting from your high self that they're softly, and I want to say the word softly, gently, quietly, almost, you know what quiescent means? Like they call it in electronics, they call it quiescent current. It's the silent current that runs transistors to keep them active. It's the same thing with a quiescent stream. That's how they're speaking to you. The word they just gave me was quiescent. And that's what's coming in. So they're trying to give it to you softly. And when they do that, there's a reason for it. So maybe that's the way you need to receive it. But I agree with you that perhaps it is time to think of in some other way or some other approach. But I don't have anything from anyone as to what that is. I wish I did, but I'm not getting anything unless someone else here is getting it. And if they are, please jump in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just getting the same thing, that this is a time for you. It's a rest time. It's time for you to kind of take that break after you quit your job that you've been doing for I don't know how many years, and having that space to create something new. And so if you jumped into something right now, you wouldn't have that space for what Jeff's talking about that wants to start to come in. So you need that time where you can just be still and just allow what needs to come in. And it's hard because I know you want to jump in and you want to know. Your mind's like, no, I need to know what that is and what I'm going to be doing, and I need to prepare. So the whole mind is, trying to keep running the show. And it's about you just being, just giving yourself that break to be and to allow it to come to you and to be.
Okay. I mean, I kind of get that, like I want to do that. And then that other part of me goes, yeah, but then you're going to be sitting around for several months, and then it could turn into 6 months, and then it could turn into a year.
Well, you wouldn't let that happen. And I think, thank you, Lisa. I think that's very good insight that you just gave there. I think that is probably the period you are in. And just believe it or not, what just came in, and I haven't had him show up before, is Joseph Campbell. Everyone know who he is? Okay. Joseph Campbell, he inspired George Lucas to write Star Wars. Anyway, he talked in Joseph Campbell came in and he had that interview with Bill Moyers. And anyway, he just repeated something that came through that 6-part interview. And he said, this up here thinks it's running the show. The mind and the brain is to be a servant to the greater being. And that's what I'm echoing. That's what I'm hearing Lisa say. That is what this time is for. You won't allow it to turn into 6 months. When the time is, you're going to have it come in, but it needs to be open to this period. And so I get it. I'm glad, Lisa, I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you.
Jessica, this is Paula. So I kept hearing that this was the time for you to find yourself. This quiet time is for you to really find Jessica and know that what you move into forward is because it's from your heart, not because you have to do it.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Paula.
Jessica?
I had something to share too, Laurel.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I was thinking if you start a new hobby, just something fun, and put all your focus on that, it'll give you a break.
Okay. I got
And
lots of hobbies.
it'll open up, do something new, do something you've never done before.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Right.
you.
Wow, this is great. I love it. I just love all the inputs from everyone because everyone gets things that the other person doesn't get. So wow. Laurel, did you have something?
Yeah. I got the word nature mainly, and I'm not sure whether they're saying that
You froze there. I'm not sure what happened.
I don't either. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Hear you. Go ahead.
I don't know what part you missed, but so nature, I think you need to be out in nature and just enjoy the earth and water and trees and, you know, all that kind of thing. And it'll be really healing for you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Wow. Well, thank
You
you.
guys are all awesome. Thank you.
Yes, but I think you're probably going to need to process this for a little bit, and
Yeah.
but there are things for you out there. There are things coming, but I think takes for you this period to get to do the things you need to do, and we'll leave it at that. So,
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
thank you. All right, I'm going to go to Franny. I would go to Pat, but Pat always likes to be last, so I will go to Franny. Do you have anything to share? Any thoughts? Any questions? Anything at all?
Hi, it's so nice to be here and to see Nicole and M and Laurel and the
I
whole
know.
group. It's just wonderful.
It is.
Whew. Yeah, overall I'm doing really well. Over Christmas or after Christmas, I went down to Hot Springs and spent a couple days there. And a friend came up to join me, and we just had a really good visit. I didn't realize it, but she said that we had been friends for 34 years. I'm like, oh my gosh, we really have that much time in together. And it was good. It was really that's probably my favorite form of self-care is to go soak and be in the healing waters and kind of, you know, get the road dust off in terms of what I pick up from being out in the world.
Mhm.
So I think I need to go more frequently. Now that I'm back at work, I'm aware of really how dense some of the energies are, especially of trauma, abuse, neglect, like, that stuff. And so I think I need to get back to some other practices for, getting rid of that. Like I've learned so much about how to not take it on, but I think it's just part of the work that when you're a caring person that you're moved or touched by somebody's story, and it's easy to take a little bit of that energy with you if you're not careful. And I'm definitely going back to some conversations that we had a few months ago where I think Lisa gave me the advice of don't lower your vibration to meet with people. Like you hold your own and witness where they're at, but don't feel like you've got to lower yourself down. And I think because of that, I'm noticing that some people I'm seeing them a little bit differently. So that's interesting. I ended up going to a Blackfeet ceremony about a week ago.
Mhm.
And there were about 25, 26 of us there. I was maybe only one or two of us were non-native. Everybody else had a tribal connection there. And was a really powerful ceremony. And what I observed or what I felt was that um, when the leader of the ceremony opened with prayer and was calling in, you might say the helpers, they call them the grandmothers and grandfathers.
Hmm.
The room felt so filled with the ancestors. Like I felt these strong lineages going back for eternity. I mean, for so long. And it felt like they were both in the building and some of them were outside the building. And the building is in this beautiful round shape with this beautiful ceiling where you can imagine the prayers going up and out
Hmm.
to the creator or up and out into the universe. So I really appreciated the invitation to go and being there. It just felt like um, it felt like it was a good thing. And when I first learned about it, I wasn't sure that I could go because it was on it's on a Friday evening, and I was scheduled to work until 5 o'clock Friday night. And Browning's like 3.5 hours away from here, so I wouldn't have gotten there by the starting time. And so on Thursday, just the day before, like I kind of felt like I needed to get through the holidays and all these other things, like my trip to Hot Springs and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Just the day before, I sat down to say my prayers, like, okay, Spirit, if I'm going to go to this, then uh, or maybe it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday, not Thursday. I was like, if I'm going to go to this, you got to clear my schedule. Like I can't. I just had a big chunk of time off. I can't take any more time off. And if this is a good thing for me to do, then I need some help. And when I said my prayers the next morning, I felt like I could see this freshly dug track through the snow, like something that a grader piece of heavy equipment had made. It wasn't the windy road that goes over Mariah's Pass. It was just this freshly dug road. And I felt like it was a sign that it was leading straight there and I could take that road if I wanted to. And I was able to move all of my people from Friday to Thursday. And I'd also said that I didn't want to be like cheating my employer by canceling sessions and the company losing income. They've been very good to me, and I felt like I needed to be honorable about if I was going to reschedule, I had to do it in a way that uh, I was keeping up with everybody. So two of the people I had three meetings I needed to move. Two of them said, "Oh, this is actually better for us. Thank you for making the change." And I forget what happened with the third one, except that it moved very easily. So it's one of those times where I was just like, "Wow, okay, all right," like the tractor beam was there pulling me in. Um, I guess I have a question about that, but I wanted to say my cat is still struggling. I did reach out and talk to the holistic practitioner. I'm going to get some testing done, and I'm changing the cat's food, so all of that is good. But I'm finding all these expensive foods that the cat doesn't like. So it's like, my gosh, it feels like a saga, it feels like a big deal to be trying to figure out how to help this little cat, and she's in a lot of distress too. So um, that's about it on my end. I guess the question that I had related to the Blackfeet ceremony is that, like, definitely there was a lot going on. I know that some people were way more tuned in than I was in terms of their ability to understand what was happening. Um, uh, I don't even have words for it. I felt like the energy was different than when I pray and connect to the creator, or I try to connect to my high self. Like the energy was different than, say, when we do our meditation and we're whatever it is, whether we're seeking guidance or we're just connecting with spirit guides or our high self, and that kind of thing. It felt like a different pathway. And so I was just curious about that and wanted to know if you can put some words to that.
Well, that's going to be a challenge, for at least for me. Yeah, it is different, and that's because of the nature of their relationship with the creator, the earth, with their ancestors. The ones that I've seen similar to that is in Japan, where the ancestors come into the temples. They have family temples and things like that. And there was definitely a full house with beings there. It went, as you said, it went beyond the walls. There was hundreds of beings there. That it was full, and so how I would say it is that the ancestors become vessels of channels, if you will, of energies for answers for people. So because they have a connection with an ancestor, or even if they hadn't met them, but they have a connection through the family with it, they can receive that way. Plus, they can get things the other way. So it's a different way of for things to come through, but it's definitely one that is part and parcel of who they are. So I would say this is how they are, and for those who are part of it, it's wonderful. It's it's a blessing, and wonderful things happen, I believe, for these people when they're open. I mean, all kinds of wonderful things can happen, healings, all kinds of things can happen through this way that they do things. So it's too hard to talk, at least for me, to talk about it, to describe it, but that's the connections that they have, and it's a beautiful thing. And their connection with Mother Earth is also very sacred to them. It looks like very sacred, and they bring a lot through Gaia, what we call Gaia, but Mother, they have their own name for it. And it's a slightly different relationship and a slightly different entity because of that. It's like the difference between the Father and Yahweh. They're both the Father, but they're not the same thing. And so it's the same thing, but all I can say, it's a very beautiful thing. It works for them. And boy, oh boy, things can happen when they come together. And that's what I'm going to say. And if anyone else has anything to share, please do.
Franny, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's like Hawaii. It's so cool that you got to be part of that. It's the path of the earth, and it'll come through your feet.
Wow.
It'll come. That's my best way to say it. It's the path of the earth.
That's cool. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was, definitely like, we think about the power of combined prayer. And so the person leading the ceremony, people were able to go forward if they had a specific request that they wanted to be prayed over and prayed for. And so there were probably, I don't know, I'm just going to say 10 or 12 people that came forward and talked with the ceremonial leader and said what what they were there for. And then they had a specific way of what they called doctoring, which was healing. And it could be praying for somebody who's physically ill, or it could be praying for a relationship that's out of sorts and praying for healing, that people's hearts would be mended, they'd be able to come together in a good way. And there was definitely one round of when they were doing the doctoring where the energies were so much heavier. They were so much heavier, and it just felt like the people were carrying such burdens. And during that round, the singing went on a lot longer. Like the person leading the ceremony has people drumming and singing. So they're, it's kind of like powwow singing, but different. As they say, it's more like sweat lodge singing, I'd say. So during that round, the person singing, the one who led the song that round, must have been tuned into, like, I need to keep going. This isn't done yet. I need to keep going. And that round may have been even twice as long as the other ones, although, time seems sort of immeasurable when you're in ceremony. In any event, they went longer, and it felt like that heaviness was dissipated and taken from them. And then the man that was leading the ceremony, he gave his interpretation of, like, this is what the grandmothers and grandfathers have to say. This is what they have to say, that yes, this can be healed, or this sick child, they can grow out of it, or here's a pathway that will help you, that kind of thing. So it was just wonderful to be part of and witness. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to share all of that. And if anybody else has any comments, I'd love to hear it.
I have one more thing that they wanted me to mention. And you see this in India a lot with the shamans. And what you'll do is you have a whole group of people. You'll see them, and they do the formation, and they all are doing this together and that kind of thing. And what they are is they all are bringing in the energies, and the energies are being channeled. And the shaman can take those energies, bring them from all the collective, all the people there, and channel them toward a certain people. And then you'll see them do amazing things. Someone will come up to be healed, and things will happen. The leader of that, the ceremony that you saw, is doing similar things from the collective, from the ancestors coming through, and possibly those, as well as Mother Earth, bringing it in and being an open vessel and instrument of those energies to help others. So that's one of the other dynamics that's happening there that they wanted for you to be aware of.
Thank you.
So, anyone else before we move on?
Yeah, Franny, I just kept getting that the absolute love that your heart shares when you're there was one of the reasons you were so drawn. Your presence was necessary. No lineage per se, but it's your heart that was required. Wow, I'm even emotional just feeling the energy of the love that you shared while you were there, a pureness. And that's really all I can't explain it. It's just the love you brought was what was required. So thank you for going.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Paula. That really touches me. It's very moving to hear that and receive that. And I wondered, like, like, what am I doing? Anyway, driving over Mariah's Pass in the wintertime is never at the top of my list. So, it was kind of curious to me. There was part of me that was like, sort of, trying to filter all of that. But thank you for that. I really hadn't thought about, what my presence brought to the ceremony. So
I'm going to go so far as to say that your presence there was ordained. It just came out of me. I don't know why ordained, but it was a higher power, and you were there to facilitate that.
Yeah.
mm.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to move on unless someone else has something to share, and I would love to hear it if you do. Okay. Without further ado, does Pat have anything to share? Any questions? Anything at all?
I just think first of all, it is so wonderful to see so many people here of our beloved group that we've done so many different things with. And John and I haven't been sick in over 4 years, and we have colds.
Oh my goodness.
It's very strange. It's very strange. And I feel as though for me, I have been shedding a lot of old thought forms and stuff. And I'm sure that this is also a part of that. And I also just want to share that I had, in the past month and a half, I have had cataract surgery on both of my eyes, and I am not a doctoring person, but I kept getting, yeah, do it. And it's like amazing to be seeing with these new eyes. I I feel like you're seeing something that I'm not yet, but it is hopefully coming into being as I get more clarity because of this new site.
Wow. It is wonderful when you can, because I've heard lots of people say once they actually have the cataract surgery, colors are brighter, things are brighter, colors are more vibrant, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's amazing to go from wearing three 325 reading glasses to like 150s. The surgeon had said that to me. Maybe you'll even get to go down to 150s. And the very first end of the first week after I had the first surgery, I'm going, what? Is this really possible? Put all those old glasses away and get new dollar store glasses.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing. And in encouragement to Franny, John and I went over Mariah's Pass for around 4 years to Sweat with the Blackfeet, to Vision Quest with the Blackfeet, to assist in sun dances. And I will tell you that the medicine man that we were working with, he was over in Heart Butte. He got pretty close to John and I. And what he said to us one time is, you too are more native than some of the natives that are here. Never forget that. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So if you see anything, Jeff, that my guides want to know, or if Kay tells you anything that she wants me to know, please.
Well, I'll start with Kay. She's smiling, and so that's good. And you are correct that you have been, you say shedding, but releasing some things. You've been letting go of some long-standing stuff that it's time. It was time. And you are also correct that the colds coincided with that. And that's not uncommon, where we get a physical cold and it makes our bodies, burdens them, but it also allows them, it weakens them in a good way to let go of stuff energetically, emotionally, and otherwise. And so I find it interesting that's true. So that is indeed what you both are doing. And that's all I have to say about Kay. She's not saying anything more. Whenever she gets that enigmatic smile, I know something's up. But she's good at keeping her cards close to her vest, so I don't know what she's doing. So I'm going to leave it at that because, yeah. Anything else?
No, I do see anything that my guides want me to know other than what you've said already?
No, they want you to know that what you're doing is, and you said you are continuing to shed stuff too. You still have some stuff you probably know that going on, and that's good, and that's what they want you to focus on. Just flowing with what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you do, and thank you everybody for being here. And if anybody sees anything or wants to add to what we've already talked about, please feel free.
All right. Give a moment for everyone. Jump in. Okay. I want to echo. Oh, Laurel, go ahead.
Oh, well, I just wanted to ask, when I was talking before, I know you said something about publishing, but I was kind of wondering if you have anything else that you were picking up about, or maybe not.
No, well, right now, I was going to go back around here in just a minute when we finish up with Pat, but it's probably a good time. No, other than you're in the process.
Okay, I thought Pat was done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, we are, and that's fine. I just wanted to give everybody a chance to speak if they had anything more to add for Pat. But we can only, if it comes through, we do, and I know that each of us follows our guidance on that. You are in the process of actually different layers of things happening in your life, and you already know that. You got the physical level, and the living and the dealing with, just that and the other thing. And so as far as the book goes, I get that I can see you're in the middle of still gathering and putting things together and getting it coherent and, moving things forward and getting things written. And what I'm getting from your high self is all of this, I'll even call it pieces and parts that sometimes make up collectively. We could look at all these different things happening in our life, and it feels kind of sometimes like, I want to use the word cluttered, but all this stuff happening, and it's almost a potpourri of things. Is to give you this process to give you increased clarity of you and your connection with your high self, of the essence of you, and that's going to come out in your writing. And you're still in that process, by the way. You're not at the very beginning, but you're not in the middle by any means. So you're in that process right now. And it sometimes a book is a good thing to do it, because what we write is much of we express ourselves through what we write. And it's not only the topic, but how we present it and all the energies that come with it. And that process is distilling you down to that connection to your high self.
Okay.
And that's an important one for you to do. It was one of the, before you came, part of your life plan. It was one of the things that when you were ready, this is one of the things you needed. This was time to do it. And I say needed to do. It's time to do it. And I hope you heard that, because your image just froze.
You kind of froze, but I did hear it. Yeah.
Okay. And you can always rewatch it. That's one of the reasons we post this thing right away. It's for all of us, so that we can go back.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. So-and-so said, Lisa said something, or Franny or Paula or somebody said something, and I want to catch it. So you go back and watch it, So,
Yeah.
but that's what you're in right now. And that's all I can say. Okay. They want me to be not talking anymore about it, because you need to go through the process yourself. And I respect that. As most of you know, I've shared, they're more than anecdotes. They're actual things that happened to me where I didn't follow the guidance, and I got a piece of information and I shared it even though I wasn't supposed to. And let me just tell you, it doesn't end well. So
Yeah, that's okay.
so
I don't want you to share anything you shouldn't.
I'm stopping now. So anyway, that's what you're in. It's a beautiful process, and it can be kind of frustrating for you at times. It can be, I'm going to use the word I'm hearing is encumbering. Means things it feels like you become encumbered trying to get things done. But it's a process you're ready for right now, and you're in beginnings of it. You're beyond the beginnings. You're past post beginnings, but you're in it. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's going to serve you well, not only in this life, but in between lives and in future lives, should you choose to do those. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. That is.
You froze up again. Sorry. All right.
Finally doing it. So.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, Paula, do you have any last thoughts, questions, anything at all?
No, just thank you for everyone. I always love the energy that we share together.
Isn't that true? And I know we talk about it over and over again, but every one of us is a channel for everybody else. So it's just things happen when we get together. It's just, wow.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right. M. Whitacre, any last thoughts? Anything at all?
Echoing what Paula shared, just appreciating the energy. Thank you, Jeff, for this coming together in community, and everyone. I think my question is just, there's a part of me that's really longing to land someplace and plant a food forest. I was just recently in Hawaii for Thanksgiving on Kauai. It was beautiful, and my friend was trying to encouraged me to get a job there and to stay. My intuition said no, and I was really sad. And maybe it's not. It was just the timing. It's not quite yet right. But yeah, I'm just feeling like I don't know. There's just a part of me that's just I've been so semi-nomadic for so long, just wanting to kind of settle down someplace. So I don't know if 2025 is going to be that year. But yeah, and if there's just anything else that my guides want me to know.
Well, I'm going to confirm what you already know, your intuition. I'm not going to talk about it in terms of years because it's so hard to tell time on the inner plane. And
Yeah.
if we shift, we suddenly make a different decision. Sometimes it shortens things up or it lengthens them. It can happen either way, and it's
Yeah.
neither good nor bad. It's just as things happen, the choices. You're in this mode for a while, and that your intuition is correct. And there will come a time when that will happen, but this isn't quite it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and hope to see you again. Hope everyone
Yes.
shows up. We love to have everyone here because this is what makes it possible when we all share like this.
Em, I wanted to make a comment.
Yeah.
I got that there's certain places that you're getting training that you couldn't get in Hawaii. And Hawaii might be something in the future, but there's certain places that you have to be in order to get the training that you need for your purpose and what you're doing. So for now, you're where you need to be.
Yeah.
And also, you just have this beautiful, you've brought so much more of your energy in since the last time I've seen you. Just this gorgeous softness and this glow to your energy. You're more balanced now. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Lisa, thank you so much. Yes. Yeah. No, that really resonates. That's very touching. Thank you.
Well,
You're
thank
welcome.
you. Go ahead. Wow, thank you, Lisa. And, glad. This is just what makes it possible because we all, again, we can all bring things through that we uniquely receive. So thank you. Franny, any last thoughts, questions, anything?
I forgot to ask about my shoulder. I have this shoulder injury and had rehabbed it and was doing better. And I keep re-injuring it, doing just tasks of daily life. And I just wonder if there is something I should be paying attention to. If there's a reason that it isn't healing properly. It isn't healing. Like, and just simple things like reaching back to put on my seatbelt is painful, you know?
What I just got when you were talking is, boy, it was from your guys, and basically they said, "Yep, that's what she's doing." You are. I was going to say I can confirm that because they said, "Yeah, there is something for you to get," and they're keeping it from me to know it. I think it's one of those things that you need to organically do yourself to become aware of it, but it's not hidden. I think you'll find it. Yeah. And as you do, then it can be healed. It can start getting healed again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful to see everybody tonight. The energy is just fabulous. So
Yeah.
blessings to everybody.
And it's sure coming through. Whew. Thank you. All right. Well, Lisa, do you have any thoughts or anything else for us, for anyone? Questions?
Well, it's been just wonderful with everybody here and yeah, it's just the energy has just been so intense from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask just real quickly, so again, I just start to have things coming through and to me and I started creating some skincare products with my neighbor across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been really excited about doing that, and we've already been in the process. We started it probably early December, and then I had stuff that I was selling, during Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but what I'm seeing is there could be some big challenges because I have a lot more availability with my time because I'm self-employed. And my neighbor across the street, she's a licensed esthetician, but she works a full-time job doing something else. She has 3 kids at home. And so I'm just wondering, is that a good match? Is it, I see the potentials with things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those are going to come about. And I can see a potential for her where this could help her to become her own business owner and have more time with her kids. but getting there, I'm not sure if that's possible. So just any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm going to echo what you just said, and what you were saying it, they were showing me. And I was just going to say, I'm glad you recognized that because it's true. It's a great idea. It has real potential. I'm not sure it's a good match, and for the very reason, and it's not so much you, it's for her to be able to, she's the one who's going to have the obstacles in weaving this so that she can make it happen. That's going to be the problem, and it will, it will almost certainly have an effect on you and your ability to work and get things done. So I think it's going to take her reprioritizing some things in a way to the extent that she can, because she doesn't have a lot of flexibility in this at all, so that this can get, so that she can weave this in such a way so that it can grow and then allow it to organically expand in a way as you're envisioning, and that would allow her to let other things go. But the challenge is more on her side, and it almost undoubtedly will affect you. I don't like to be to program things, but it just looks like the mechanics of it are as you see them.
Okay.
You're seeing it very clearly, and there's more things there than you're even aware of that will become, as you start working more, you'll become, oh, she's got this thing here too, and that sort, these little things. So it's a great idea. I hope that she can open her, that I hope just between the two of you that it can be made to happen, that this needle can be threaded so that if it is to be, it can be a good thing. And it has it does have great potential, wonderful potential for, there's a need for this.
Would it be better for me to just do it on my own?
Your high self said this, and she won't say anything else. She says, be careful. And I think what she means is be careful in trying to do it. It's almost like you've got the energies together to do it. For you to do it on your own, it would have to naturally split off that way so that you can do that. If you try to make it happen without it naturally happening, it will be, it just feels like it is problematic, as I'm going to use the word. Okay. So I think it's something you can become aware of, but you've already got it, and I think you can proceed with it, and see where it can go, and see, and if I'm hoping she can make it happen on her part. But in time, you probably can. That's what I just got. Boy, that just came in. But you got to take this carefully.
Yeah, because I was doing almost all the work.
Yeah.
And I want that to shift, and just seeing her lifestyle, I don't know how that's going to shift, and I don't feel like it's fair for me to do 3/4 of the work and only get half of that.
That's why your high self should be careful. Yeah, I agree with your assessment, and it's accurate. Okay. But you need to work through this carefully, and just staying centered in the divine. Let yourself be guided in how to do it, and there'll be points where it seems to stop, and some points where it can go. But I think in time, as you work through I'm going to use the word, the mire of this situation. On the other side of it, there is where it looks like you could be the one doing it, and that's actually more likely to be the case. But interesting, that's what your high self says, just be careful, be aware, in this situation, and you are. Because, I'll leave it at that. You know how it is when we try to make something happen, we know that and then if too much pressure on her will cause her to not be able to handle it well.
Right. So then that means that I end up doing most of the work.
Yeah, and some hard feelings can happen if something were to happen in a certain way, and it could be perceived that it was one way when in reality it was not. That's why your high self saying being careful. There's some dynamics in this situation you're not fully aware of yet, and it's not something that I can really talk about because it hasn't quite, no direction, that hasn't happened, but when it does, it will become clear to you. And when you're aware of it, really, she wants you to really keenly pay attention, greater attention to the smaller things than you might normally do, because those smaller things are bigger than they appear.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not trying to speak cryptically, but that's as accurately as I can speak about it, given things are still amorphous in
Okay.
some pieces.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I wish I could give you more on that, but it is a good idea. I like what you're doing. So, and they like what you're doing. The universe likes what you're doing. With that, I already talked to Paula. Let's go to Nicole. Does Nicole have any last thoughts? You there, Nicole? She maybe have stepped away.
I did. I had to step away. Sorry, guys.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, any last thoughts before we close?
Yeah, no, I'm just give me I'll chime in next time.
Okay. All righty.
All
Well,
right.
thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Jessica, any last thoughts? Any questions? Anything at all?
Oh, I just want to say thanks to everyone for a beautiful call. It was really good to hear all this stuff, and interesting about the Blackfeet Indian stuff, because I have some connections with the ex-boyfriend who lives up there, and his whole family lives there. So it was very interesting. And Franny, if you want to connect with me, I can tell you all the things I've tried with my cat, and so you can see if you want to try any of them.
You're muted.
Do you want to put your phone number in the chat? And I will do that. I'd love to connect with you.
Sure, I will do that.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you. It's
But
always
thank you.
It's so great when you have someone who has the experience, especially with dealing with pets and things. Oh, what a blessing that is. Yes. Especially cats. They are so challenging from time to time.
Yeah, I'm not saying I have all the answers, but
No, but whatever you know is always a benefit to, if you know something that she hasn't tried, my goodness, that's absolutely great. And
yeah.
there's your chat. There it is on the screen. All right. And with that, thank you. Marci, you're the last but absolutely not least. Any thoughts, any questions, anything at all?
Well, it's great hearing everybody as always, but this seems like a really light, joyful call, so I really appreciate that energy. Two things. When Lisa was talking about I think she said volcano, and you were talking about the color orange, I got like a stab right behind my navel, just right when she said that. And I thought that was kind of like it really stood out. So I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
I
And
don't.
then the other,
Yeah.
okay. And then the other thing was, I'm outside and there's big white puffy clouds, and I saw something I've never seen before. It was a square cloud, like a smoke ring, but it was perfectly square, and it was hollow on the inside and traveling. And I've seen a lot of clouds. I've never seen anything like it. So I'm just sharing that.
Thank you. Wow. It's always interesting the things that are there and that you see. And I believe that, that you can see cloud formations. I forgot what they call them. I may be not calling it the right thing, but angel energy formation clouds that just they're so awesome. And they're very spiritual in nature. So thank you for sharing that. All righty. Well,
Thank you, everybody.
thank you. Unless there's anything else, if anyone else has any last minute, go ahead and chime in. And otherwise, we're going to say close for now and until next time.
Good night.
Well, thank you all for being here and blessings, and thank you for everyone for sharing. That is so wonderful because each of us is a blessing unto the other. So blessings and light, and until next time, namaste.
Same to
Love
you.
you guys. Love
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Good
Thank you,
night.